Welcome back, everybody. This is MrNemesiis, and I'm just doing a quick video on the Crusader Ares as a follow-up to the other one now that their Q&A has come out. So let's take a look here. How fast and nimble is the Ares compared to ships like the Sabre, Hornet, or Vanguard? Unlike other Crusader ships, the Ares is not as nimble for its size due to the significant compensation required to carry the size 7 weapon. As a result, the handling characteristics are closer to a Vanguard or Freelancer than Sabre or Hornet. Not really a big shock there. It's a heavy fighter, not a fighter. So, not exactly shocking information, I guess. What benefits does the size 7 cannon give you over multiple smaller weapons with the same DPS? Does the larger weapon have higher armor penetration, range, etc.? Again, silly question. Bigger guns in this game have more range, so that's kind of a given. But let's see what they say. Larger weapons do more than just higher damage or DPS, they also tend to have higher penetration rates when physicalized damage comes in, and the weapons themselves are more durable, with enhanced resistance to distortion damage. I don't know why it says distortion and damage, but I guess damage overall, they're harder to kill, that would make sense. As a result, the DPS of a single size 7 may on paper be equal to multiple smaller weapons. The increased range and penetration provide a significant benefit against certain targets. And again, that penetration is going to be armor. Once armor is in the game, thicker armor, those smaller weapons aren't even going to get through it. So shooting something with really heavy armor, you're not even going to hurt it at all. So bigger guns obviously will matter. Alright, how much ammo can the Inferno carry? The Inferno has dedicated ammo storage beyond the norm, allowing it to allocate additional ammo to the default ammo box. And this works out to be 2 to 3 times the normal capacity of a ballistic weapon. So, yes, we knew from the extra components it was lacking compared to the Ion, that it was going to have more ammo, because they stated as such, but of course that really doesn't give us a number, because we don't know how many rounds it would normally carry. But again, good to know that it will have more ammo, but I bet you it's going to rip through it quick. Either way. According to the brochure, the Ares will have long-range capabilities. Could you please clarify what you mean by that? Will it have a bed and bathroom? Silly question. I don't know why they have to waste their time answering these questions. They could answer something more useful, in my opinion. It's a fighter. It does not have a damn interior. But people just have to ask silly questions. And they say the Ares is a single-seat fighter with no interior. The stated long-range capability comes from the large size of the weapon with its inherent longer range of engagement in addition to its complement of missiles. Alright, I get it. So it doesn't have to go back, in case of the Inferno anyway, it doesn't have to go back and reload. So it can go a little bit further, but again, nothing new here. We knew it was a fighter, so it's not going to have an interior. Seems like a waste of a question to me. What are the batteries mentioned in the Ares brochure? Batteries are a component that most of our ships will feature. Specifically, these function like real-world batteries and can be charged up and used whilst the power plant is offline for both redundancy and lower signature performance, which is nice. That one wasn't too bad. We kind of needed clarification on what batteries were, since they're finally kind of putting that in their technical specs for the ships now, and helps to know, because I think that was kind of the first ship I saw that they came out with for their specs that they show batteries. But as they mentioned, I think all ships are going to have batteries, so but good to know what they're used for. Makes sense. Again, wasted question. I don't know why they would answer this, let alone why somebody would upvote this so that they would answer it. Can the size 7 weapons be swapped? The size 7 weapons for the Ares are bespoke to the ship. They cannot be swapped between the variants or with other size 7 weapons. Again, kind of a given. I don't know why they have to answer these things. Where is the Ares in the ship pipeline? The Ares is currently concept complete and not in active development. It will be shown on the RSI roadmap when the quarter it is scheduled for release is present. So, maybe next year, who knows? We have 0 Crusader ships right now. So, I'm not sure which one's really going to be the first one. As it sits right now, the Hercules Starlifter, I believe, is the first ship that is scheduled to be released for Crusader. Never know, though. One of these smaller Crusader ships might jump ahead of it, but it would be nice, honestly. Kind of would like to see a Crusader ship in-game. I've become a fan of their styling. How different is the Inferno's armor variant compared to the Ion variant? The Inferno's armor will be significantly more effective and thicker. In the short term, before physicalized damage is introduced, this will come in the form of extra health, but once physicalized damage comes in, the armor will be thicker and tougher to get through. The Ion has relatively thin armor due to other components taking up a roughly equivalent amount of mass, equalizing the flight performance of the two variants. Kind of self-explanatory there. What is the range and damage of each gun on the Ares? Exact numbers are subject to change due to balance and the introduction of larger ships and weapons, but if the ship was to be released tomorrow, the damage would be over 2,400 DPS with a range of over 8 kilometers, which is a lot of range. And I'm assuming that is just for the Ion that they're referring to there. I can't imagine the Inferno is going to have an 8-kilometer range. I'm guessing it would probably be 6, maybe? But, yeah, that probably refers to the Ion is my take on that answer. The DPS of a single size 7 is not expected to be much greater than the combined DPS of many smaller weapons on other smaller ships. What makes the Ares better against larger ships than, say, the Vanguard? And again, as we kind of know, once armor's in, that's where the difference is going to lie. But their answer is, as mentioned above, the current damage system is based purely on numerical hit points, but with the introduction of physicalized damage, larger weapons will have increased penetration. With this future addition, ship armor will essentially shrug off smaller rounds as they won't have enough energy to penetrate the armor. Whilst the Vanguard may have equal DPS on paper, the S2 nose guns may not be able to penetrate larger capital ship hulls. Again, they kind of already answered that. Don't know why they felt they had to answer it again. They drive me nuts on their Q&As when they answer some of the silliest questions. How many Ares would be needed to disable a capital shield? Can a single S7 do the job? I can tell you already no, that's not possible. But let's see what they say. Capital ships and their shields come in many shapes, sizes, and types. Capital items are tailored to their ship due to the lack of modularity, so there is no standard capital shield to measure against. Both the 890 and the Javelin are considered capital ships, but as you can imagine, they demand very different numbers to kill their shield emitters. Obviously. Speaking in more general terms, the Ares will not be able to kill a capital ship alone, but would be a good choice to bring in your fleet when trying. Again, if you have not watched my other Crusader Ares video, I kind of brought that up. This is a heavy fighter. You're going to be there to help take out capital ships. You're not going to be dogfighting. It's not the design of the ship. In the preview video, you showed an Ares with 2 smaller cannons. Will there be weapon variants? Again, wasted question. They could have answered something else. The preview video showed a placeholder weapon scaled up to size 7 as a reference when the ship was being designed. Can you make the Inferno go brrrt? Hopefully that was a pretty decent noise there. Please. We will do our best. However, the RPM of the Inferno is less than an A10's main gun, so it will feature a unique sound to Star Citizen. If you didn't know, basically the Inferno is kind of the Star Citizen's version of the A10, I would say, so everybody wants it to sound like it, but A10 has a much higher rate of fire compared to this gun. So yeah, Hopefully it does have a cool sound, but I don't know that it's going to sound like an A10. The brochure says the Ares is being designed to be scrambled from an orbiting carrier ground base. Does this mean that the Ares can be launched from a Polaris, 890 Jump, Idris, Javelin, or Kraken? The Javelin is currently the only capital ship that could accommodate the Ares based on its current dimensions. The Ares is too wide to fit in the Idris, Polaris, and 890, but would be able to land on the larger Kraken pads. Again, I don't understand why people have to ask these things. I know they want to know, but at the same time, it's a heavy fighter. It's not going to fit in everything. Anyway, that is the end of this one, folks. And hopefully, if you didn't know the Q&A was out, this was helpful. If it was, please subscribe, give it a thumbs up, and certainly feel free to share my videos. And if you can, I would appreciate follow me on Patreon. Again, I'm not making any money doing this, and I would like to do it more, but for now, I'm just doing what I can. Anyway, it's almost Christmas time. I might get another video out before Christmas. If not, Merry Christmas, and have a wonderful holiday.